just going to be upfront with you. I've been talking to the DA down in Moody County, and they've been working on a case down there. And we know that if you had
What if I told you that one of America's most disturbing killers is making headlines again in 2026? A woman who spent months faking a pregnancy, held a gender reveal party, convinced everyone she was expecting a child, and then committed a crime so horrifying that even veteran investigators struggled to comprehend it. Now, after years of appeals, there's a major update in the Taylor Parker case that's putting her name back into headlines worldwide. Tonight, we'll break down the latest developments, reveal where Taylor Parker is today, and uncover why a new Netflix documentary has reignited public interest in one of the most shocking true crime cases in recent history. Stay with me, because this story only gets darker as we go. Welcome back to True Crime Nabuma. If you're new here, we cover the most gripping true crime cases from around the world, bringing you the latest updates and uncovering details that many people miss. Before we begin, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new true crime investigation. Now let's dive into the latest update on Taylor Parker. The latest update. In June 2026, Taylor Parker's case has suddenly returned to the spotlight following the release of Netflix's documentary Maternal Instinct. The renewed attention comes just weeks after the United States Supreme Court declined to hear her appeal, leaving her death sentence intact. As of today, Parker remains on death row in Texas, and no execution date has been set. For many people hearing about this case for the first time, the details are almost impossible to believe. But to understand why this latest update matters, we need to go back to where it all began. Who is Taylor Parker? Taylor Renee Parker was a Texas woman who appeared, at least on the surface, to be living a normal life. She was a mother. She had relationships. She ran a photography business. To many people around her, she seemed ordinary. But behind the scenes, prosecutors say Parker was building an elaborate web of deception that would eventually end in tragedy. One of the biggest lies involved a pregnancy. The problem? Taylor Parker had undergone a hysterectomy years earlier, making pregnancy impossible. Yet she allegedly convinced family, friends, and her boyfriend Wade Griffin that she was expecting a baby. She reportedly used fake ultrasound images. She wore prosthetic pregnancy bellies. She hosted celebrations, and she continued the deception for months. But eventually, reality began closing in. The deadline she couldn't escape. As the fake due date approached, Parker faced a problem. People expected a baby. Questions were starting to emerge. Family members were becoming suspicious. According to investigators, she needed a way to produce a child and keep her lie alive. That's when attention turned toward 21-year-old Reagan Simmons Hancock. Reagan was approximately 35 weeks pregnant. She knew Parker. In fact, Parker had photographed important moments in Reagan's life, including her wedding. No one could have imagined what would happen next. The horrific crime. On October 9, 2020, Reagan Simmons Hancock was attacked inside her Texas home. According to court evidence, Parker murdered Reagan and then removed her unborn child in an attempt to pass the baby off as her own. Tragically, both Reagan and the infant, Braxton Sage Hancock, died. The case shocked the nation. Veteran investigators described it as one of the most disturbing crimes they had ever encountered. Even more heartbreaking was the fact that Reagan's young daughter was present in the home during. Within a short time, authorities stopped Parker while she was traveling and claiming she had just given birth. Medical professionals quickly determined that her story was impossible, leading to her arrest. People.com+1. What investigators uncovered afterwards stunned everyone. As detectives pieced together the timeline, they discovered the extent of the fake pregnancy scheme. Witnesses described months of deception, fake medical updates, false promises, fabricated documents, a carefully constructed fantasy that appeared to be unraveling. Prosecutors argued that Parker became desperate as the truth threatened to emerge. That desperation, they said, ultimately led to murder. The evidence presented during trial painted a chilling picture of planning, manipulation, and obsession. Taylor Parker's trial became one of the most closely watched criminal cases in Texas. Jurors heard testimony from witnesses, investigators, forensic experts, and people who had been deceived by Parker's claims. Texarkana Today +1. The prosecution argued that Parker intentionally murdered Reagan while carrying out a kidnapping. The defense challenged aspects of the state's case. After hearing the evidence, jurors found Parker guilty of capital murder. In November 2022, she was sentenced to death. But the story wasn't over. Not even close. Like many death penalty cases, Parker's conviction entered a lengthy appeals process. Her attorneys challenged the verdict and sentence through multiple legal avenues. In 2025, Texas' highest criminal court upheld the conviction and death sentence. Then came another major development. In May 2026, the United States Supreme Court declined to hear her case. That decision effectively exhausted one of her most significant appeal opportunities. For many observers, it marked a turning point. Where is Taylor Parker now? Today, Taylor Parker remains incarcerated at the Patrick L. O'Daniel unit in Gatesville, Texas, where female death row inmates are housed. She is among a very small number of women currently on Texas death row. Despite the Supreme Court decision, no execution date has been announced. Recent reports have also revisited allegations that Parker continued engaging in deceptive behavior while incarcerated, claims prosecutors referenced during legal proceedings. Oxygen. Whether additional legal challenges emerge remains to be seen. But for now, Parker remains on death row awaiting the next chapter in her case. One reason people are suddenly searching for Taylor Parker is Netflix's documentary Maternal Instinct, which has introduced the story to a new audience worldwide. The documentary revisits the investigation, the trial, and the devastating impact on Reagan Simmons Hancock's family. For many viewers, the most unsettling aspect isn't just the crime itself. It's the months of deception leading up to it. The fake pregnancy, the elaborate lies, the appearance of normalcy, and the tragic consequences that followed. Cases like Taylor Parker's remind us why true crime continues to fascinate and disturb people around the world. Not because of the violence alone, but because of the unanswered questions. How does someone maintain such an elaborate deception for so long? What warning signs were missed? And could anything have prevented this tragedy? As of June 2026, Taylor Parker remains on death row, her appeals largely exhausted, while the memory of Reagan Simmons Hancock and baby Braxton continues to be remembered by those who followed this heartbreaking case. What do you think about the latest developments in the Taylor Parker case? Do you believe justice has been served? Or do you think there are still unanswered questions surrounding this case? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like this video, subscribe to True Crime Nabuma, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest true crime investigations. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, sometimes the most terrifying stories are the real ones. Thanks for watching True Crime Nabuma.